20-year-old Kanti is a simple, medium-sized girl. He is quite short in stature, slim but balanced. Makeup is simple. She is somewhat shy and avoids socializing. After studying up to 10th standard, she has taken up a job in a primary school and is also a tutor. This series has been going on for 3.5 years. The salary is 1,500 rupees. She has been working as a call girl for 2.5 years, earning 3 rupees a month. Kanti belongs to a lower middle-class family. His father is a welder in a factory and his monthly income is about 3,500 rupees. His education is up to 8 classes. Kanti's mother, who has passed away, had studied only 6 classes. Kanti is the second child of her parents. He has an elder brother and a younger sister. Since the father could not pass matriculation, which he felt strongly about, he dreamed of educating his children in quality schools and colleges. Kanti stopped on reaching here. I asked to tell something more. She was not ready, but as my insistence and persuasion increased, she agreed to tell me about her life and experiences from childhood till now. So he started telling. As far back as I can remember, my father's house was plagued by poverty from the very beginning. But the relationship between my parents was quite pleasant. We rarely found them fighting or saying bad things to each other. However, we always had a shortage of food and clothing. Because of this, my mother used to be very angry and depressed. Still, my father was determined to give us good and expensive education. They had admitted us to École Nantes. Half of their salary would be used for our uniforms and fees. The rest would barely cover bread, clothes and other necessities. I also remember that many times we had to sleep without having dinner. This would make my mother very sad, but overall we were a contented and happy family. My father's working hours were very long. By the time he would return home exhausted, we would be more than half asleep. I was very fond of my mother and elder brother. Since I was young, I could not understand why we did not have enough to eat and wear like my other classmates. Is it because of my father's lack of wealth? Why like this? I often protested and shouted that I should have a nice frock to wear and cakes and pastries to eat. Only my elder brother felt good about my crying and whining, so he would give me some of his share of food. He used to save the cost of his shirt and shorts and bring me a frock. I didn't realize this at the time. I started to understand these things when I was 9 years old. Then I also started to know that mom usually starves because her husband and children are hungry. Could get enough food. She started to look very weak and tired because she had to do all the housework alone. When father came back from work, he was also upset. If we made noise, he would scold us severely. He loved his elder son very much, so he would sometimes bring something to feed him. But elder brother made me share in it. Despite the scarcity of food and drink, we were a happy family. But then a disaster struck, recounting the tragic events and bitter experiences of her childhood. Kanti said that I was 9 years old when my elder brother, who was 11 years old, died after suffering from severe fever for 4 or 5 days. His sudden death was a terrible blow to his parents and Kanti herself, as if her father's back was broken. After this, the mother's health began to deteriorate rapidly and within a few years she became very weak. Kanti said that she often heard her father and mother say that our deceased son was the center of our hopes. We thought he would get a good education, get a good job, take care of us and younger brother. And sisters will also be supported. His mother used to have so many bouts of grief that she would not eat or drink anything and would spend many nights awake. Sometimes she faints. Her father could not afford her medical treatment, rest and adequate food due to his meager salary. Thus her health continued to deteriorate. Continuing her tale of grief, Kanti said, "The second big disaster befell us, 4 years after my elder brother's death, when mother died. His death was also a great tragedy for us. When we children were in school, and father was in the factory, mother used to come in and out for various small jobs. On that day too, the mother had probably gone to the market or to the doctor. On her way back, she fell on the road. Suffering severe head injuries and bleeding, she died before being rushed to hospital. At that time I was about 13 years old. Me and my younger sister cried a lot. The younger brother was barely 7 years old. After hearing about his mother's death, he became depressed. Bapu was deeply shocked. They became depressed all the time and became indifferent to us too. Instead of showing more love to us, they adopted the attitude of keeping quiet. Sometimes they would talk briefly, then there would be a long silence. On this, the memory of mother started haunting us more. Despite this behavior, father wanted us to continue our education in the convent. Along with my studies, I had to take care of household chores at the age of 13. I felt the burden of work very much, and without understanding my father's financial difficulties, I repeatedly insisted him to hire a servant in the house. He used to get upset at my request. One day he told that he wanted to make some arrangements so that we two sisters do not have to stay alone in the house and also get help in the housework. Finally, they made such an arrangement, but this arrangement destroyed our lives. Thank you for watching the video. The next episode will be very soon. If you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe the channel.